Scream 7 is in theaters and features the return of the original writer and many original cast members. But is it enough to save the struggling franchise?
Welcome to Deadsville.
Greetings, horror fans. Deadsville's Ronin James here with my spoiler-free take on Scream 7. Original Scream writer Kevin Williamson makes his return to the fold as writer and director on Scream 7. He did not have an easy task picking up the third movie in what was supposed to be a trilogy, with Melissa Barrera being fired, Jenna Ortega stepping away, and the directors, Radio Silence, also leaving for other projects. The studio probably went into panic mode for this third movie and decided to dip into the nostalgia pool for damage control. So Kevin Williamson returns, also Nev Campbell returns as Sidney Prescott, and this movie is going to center on her and a new Ghostface stalking Sidney's daughter. In addition to Nev Campbell, we get a bunch of returning cast members from the original movies in various cameos or supporting roles, in addition to a group of young up-and-coming actors playing Sidney's daughter and friends. And we also have a couple characters from Scream 5 and 6 returning as well. Overall, the entire cast does a pretty solid job, but some characters are given a lot more to work with than others. Let's start with some of the good things that they did in Scream 7. In the original movies, Ghostface was pretty fast and agile, and we get a return to that here with some really fast-paced action and some great stunts. Ghostface is a human in a mask, so fighting back is always an option, and in this movie, he meets plenty of resistance. There's a good amount of chasing, some solid fight choreography, breakaways, and creative camera work really helps sell the action. Obviously, another good thing about this is the nostalgia buzz. You're gonna get a heavy dose of original Scream Easter eggs and references and quotes and cameos. For some, it may seem a bit heavy-handed, but if you're a fan of dipping into the nostalgia pool, then you will definitely enjoy it like I did. Which brings us to Matthew Lillard. I'm not going to give anything away and tell you whether Stu lives or not. Go see the movie and find out. But Matthew Lillard appears in the movie and he does a fantastic job. Every scene he is in puts a big smile on your face if you're a fan of the original. And the rest of the original cast making cameos and in supporting roles does a great job as well. And it's really good to see them. There's not a whole lot of character development in this movie for a lot of the newer characters, so it was nice to see a little bit of Sidney and Tatum's relationship fleshed out and grow through the movie. And another positive note, this movie was full of some really creative kills. I really dug the way they killed off some of these characters, and Ghostface was pretty brutal. Now jumping to the bad, some of the things I did not like about this movie. Let's start with the lack of character development. So many characters in this movie and so little development. In addition to a lack of character development for so many characters, it also leaves many of the characters with very little to do. So some of the holdovers from the previous movies kind of feel out of place or feel like they are just there because they're holdovers from the previous movie. And it's a slasher movie, so of course we're going to have questionable decision making by our characters. But there are a couple scenes in this one where it goes beyond just questionable decision making to ignoring basic training and basic survival skills. Now, usually some of these things I can live with if you deliver in other areas of the movie, but when you have an ending that completely drops the ball the way Scream 7 does, it's kind of hard to feel too excited about everything that took place before. Still, there was a lot of good in this movie, and I really did enjoy it. I saw it in 4DX, so the chairs were moving, the mist was blowing, the smells were going, the water was spraying when the blood was spraying on the screen, and it was a good time through the first 2/3 of the movie. But then we got to the end, and we got to the reveal of our Ghostface. Or should I say our two ghost faces, and I'm not spoiling anything because this is Scream. They always have two ghost faces. It's required. So we get our first reveal, and it is the most predictable reveal in any slasher I've ever seen. It was a dead giveaway. Number one, because it's a pretty well-known actor/actress, and number two, because of the dialogue exchange when said character first enters the film. Totally predictable. Now maybe this is intentional, as the entire movie bases itself on the question, is Stu Macher alive? But the reveal of Ghostface number 2 was just so off the wall and out of left field, it made zero sense. Especially when they went into their villain monologue and explained their motivation and history that turned them into the villain. It was utter horseshit. The character takes an info dump on your head and leaves you wondering what the fuck is going on. So what's the verdict? Well, I still had a ton of fun, despite the ending being total shit. I really enjoyed the opening scene. I really enjoyed the handling of the characters, and for the most part, enjoyed enjoyed the direction that the film went in dealing with the cameos and with the next generation. I really enjoyed the action, the stunts. I really enjoyed Ghostface throughout most of the movie until the reveal. And I really enjoyed the return of Matthew Lillard and some more of the cameos from the OGs. I didn't hate Mindy, which was nice. And I enjoyed the growth of Sidney's daughter, Tatum's character. Seeing it in 4DX definitely helped the fun of the experience, as it's more like an amusement ride than sitting through a movie, so some of my enjoyment may be colored by the 4DX experience. But overall, the tone of the movie through 2/3 felt like a throwback to the original 2000 slashers, the original 2 Scream movies, and the original Ghostface. So I really dug most of the movie and enjoyed the ride, the fast pacing, the stunts, and really dug the kills. The ending left a pretty bad taste in my mouth, and I felt unsatisfied by one anticlimactic reveal and one ridiculous reveal. Overall, I still score the movie a 3.25 out of 5 stars. I recommend seeing it in the theater. It is a good time. If you're a fan of the franchise, there's a lot of Easter eggs, there's a lot of homage to the old movies, and there's a lot of cameos from the OGs that you will most likely enjoy. The nostalgia factor is high, and I'm not gonna lie, it definitely helped my enjoyment of this movie. The ride is fun, but it doesn't stick the ending. Still, I think Scream 7 is a step in the right direction. I feel like Kevin Williamson has an understanding of what makes this franchise fun and what fills the seats with fans. It's no surprise there is a huge discrepancy in the Rotten Tomatoes score between the critics, 30-some%, and the fans, 70+% last time I checked. I'm in the 65% range. It was definitely a fun, enjoyable movie that should have had a way better ending, in my opinion. What are your thoughts, Boo Believers? Have you seen Scream 7? What did you think of the ending? Which was your favorite kill? That's going to do it for now. Be sure to listen to Deadsville Horror Talk on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe on YouTube. Stay spooky.